Hello and welcome to my class. My name is Teacher Foster. You can follow me on social media, Facebook Teacher Foster, YouTube Teacher Foster, TikTok and Teacher Foster. Alright, today we are looking at a question under quadratic equation. So we have been asked this question says that the roots of the quadratic equation 2x squared plus r plus 1x plus t is equal to 0 are 1 and 3, where r and t are constant. We have to find the values of r and t. Alright, so since this is a quadratic equation, we already know that an equation of the form ax squared plus bx plus c is a quadratic equation. And here we have been given the roots. The roots of the quadratic equations are the solutions of the quadratic equation. So with regard to this question, you have to find a constant r and t. So if the roots of the quadratic equation, which is the solution, the roots are 1 and 3, then what it means is that if I substitute 1 into the equation given, it should be equal to 0. So for 1, I would say that 2, so I'm now substituting 1 in place of the equation given to me. 1 squared plus r plus 1, then my x is 1 in this case, plus t is equal to 0. If I simplify this should give me 2 plus r plus 1 plus t is equal to 0. So this should give me r plus t plus 3 is equal to 0. And I want to write this as r plus t is equal to negative 3. So I can call this my first equation. Alright, the second root is 3. So I'll say that for 3, then my equation, this will imply that my equation, so this time I'm substituting 3 into the equation. So that should give me 3 squared plus r plus 1. This time my x is not 1, it is 3, so I'll multiply by 3 and plus t, and that should be equal to 0. So if we simplify this, 3 squared will give me 9 times 2, that should give me 18, plus 3 multiplied by r will give me 3r, then 3 multiplied by 1 will give me 3 plus t, and that should be equal to 0. So I'll have 3r plus t. Now 18 plus 3 should give me 21, and that should be equal to 0. So if I simplify this, 3r plus t will be equal to negative 21. I'll call this my equation 2. So clearly I'm getting a simultaneous equation. So I want to solve to find a constant r and t. So I can say that from my equation 1, where r plus t is equal to negative 3, I can say that from equation 1, my r will be equal to negative 3 minus t. So if my r is equal to negative 3 minus t, then I can substitute this. I can substitute r is equal to negative 3 minus t into equation 2. This is our equation 2. So that will mean that in place of r in the second equation, I will have to put in negative 3 minus t. So this means that 3 will multiply negative 3 minus t, that's my r. Then I have plus t, and that's equal to negative 21. Let's expand this. 3 times negative 3 will give me negative 9. 3 times negative t will give negative 3t plus t, and that's equal to negative 21. So I want to group like terms. So this should give me negative 3t plus t is equal to negative 21 plus 9. Plus because 9 was negative here. So negative 3t plus t should give me negative 2t. And negative 21 plus 9 should give me 12. Should give me 12. Now I'm looking for the constant t. So I'll divide both sides by negative 2. So this is negative 2. This is negative 2. Negative 2 will go into 12 6 times. So it means that my t is equal to negative 6. Because I divided both sides by negative 2. Now, if that is my t, then if I want to find my r, fortunately I've made r the subject from equation 1 here. So all I have to do is to substitute the value of t into my r value here. So I would say that r is equal to -3 minus t, but my t in this case is -6. So that should give me -3 minus 6. My entire t is 6. Then we divide both sides by, sorry, this is -12. Sorry, so this will give us -12. So my t here is +6 and not -6 because we divide it by -2. So this should give me -3 plus -3 for my r minus t, but my t is a +6. So it becomes -3 minus 6. So that means that my r is equal to -9. So the constant values r and t will now mean that, therefore I can say that, therefore my r is equal to -9 and my t is equal to 6. So this is a clear way we can find a solution to this quadratic equation. Alright, thank you. So this is one method. So let's look at another way we can find a solution to a quadratic equation of this nature. Alright, so if 1 and 3 are the roots of the equation, then what it means is that x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 3. Now, if x is equal to 1, then I can say that x minus 1 is equal to 0 and x minus 3 is also equal to 0. Now, if x minus 1 is equal to 0 and x minus 3 is equal to 0, then I can also say that x minus 1 multiplied by x minus 3 will give me 0. Now, I want to expand this to, so this should give me x squared. X times x will give me x squared. X times -3 will give me -3x. -1 times x will give me -x. -1 times -3 will give me +3, and this should equal to 0. If I simplify this quadratic equation, this should give me x squared minus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now, I want to compare this to the given equation, which is 2x squared, but the coefficient of the given equation is 2. So I'll multiply through this quadratic equation by 2. So I will say that multiply through by 2. And that means that this equation now becomes 2x squared minus 8x plus 6 is equal to 0. Alright, now what am I going to do with this? I'll now compare this with the equation given to me. Since these are the roots, now I have now generated a quadratic equation from the roots that were given to me. So I'll now compare this equation to the equation I am solving. So comparing, the equation given to me is 2x squared plus r plus 1x plus t is equal to 0. Now my comparison, I can say that my r plus 1, which is the coefficient of x, is equal to -8, which is also the coefficient of x here. So I would say that r plus 1 is equal to -8. Because this is the coefficient of x, that's the coefficient of x. So it means that my r will be equal to -8 minus 1. That gives me r is equal to -9. Alternatively, I can compare my t to the constant here. So by comparing, I would say that my t is equal to 6. So that gives me the value of the quadratic equation. So just like the first case where our t was 6 and r is 9, this is a more simpler version of how to find the root of the quadratic equation. Whichever works for you, you can go for that. Thank you very much. I hope you understood what I did. If you have any question, you can drop a question in my comment section and I'll answer that. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next class.